Hey folks, I just wanted to make another short video going over our revision discussion this week. And I just also want to start by saying one more thing about the purpose for our proposal to the Seattle Design Festival. So think of it this way. You're making a proposal for an idea, or you're proposing an activity, or you're proposing an event, or you're proposing a skill share to the Seattle Design Festival. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to sort of show us sort of what we're doing with that, more conceptually and big picture. Okay, so here's that pyramid of critical thinking, that pyramid of higher thought that we've looked at before. Think of it as you're going to the top of the pyramid with this. You're creating an idea, you're creating a proposal, you're creating an event or a skill share or a talk that you want to propose to the Seattle Design Festival, right? So that's what we're doing here. So I think of this as, let's show off our creativity, our imagination, our ideas, right? And that's that what if, right? What if, right? Take that idea and run with it. What if we brought back Luna Park, right, from Alki Beach waterfront from 1910? What if we created a community cookbook? What if we let towns in Seattle decide on how to honor and celebrate their own history through making community plaques, right? Who are the people, events that Columbia City wants to honor, or folks in Kirkland, or folks in Redmond, or folks in West Seattle? Does that make sense? So what if, right? What if the Fremont Troll came to life, right? What would happen? So that's this, capturing this, creating an idea, right? And with the Seattle Design Festival proposal, I said in the last video, try to make it connected to our music therapy. You don't have to, but if you can, right, do it. So, if what if the Fremont Troll came to life and taught Seattle Norwegian music or Scandinavian music, right? We get the troll through the Scandinavian heritage, right, of Seattle, right? So interesting. I've added some music to it. So let your imaginations run free there. And here is an example of, my students last quarter wanted to bring back Alki Beach's Luna Park amusement park, which is no longer around. So how do you bring it back? Bring it back in a pop-up form, right? Bring it back in balloon form, right? I love it. Bring it back as a pop-up house. So as a bouncy house. So, right, that's just an idea of what if, you could bring back some of this, older history, right? Some of these events. Okay, so let's go now to the discussion this week, revising our essays. So all of this is just revision work for your essay on music therapy. So think of it as we're revising and continuing to work on our essay this week. I'm giving you feedback. So first thing I want is, I want your title for this paper. It should not be called, paper 2 or music therapy paper. I want a professional title. Professional title has a hook and it has key terms. So we have a reading on this, and this holds true, right? Any discipline, bioengineering, chemistry, religious studies, sociology, communications has that same structure, hook or keywords, right? More STEM papers tend to just have that hook, and more, humanities will have a hook and keywords. So let's look at some examples, right? Here's a bad example. Paper 2, music therapy, right? So you want your title, you want your reader to know what your argument is, right? It's not a mystery novel. So you need to, in your title, signal, what is this paper about? And I don't know what paper 2 music therapy is about. It's about music therapy, but what about it? Okay? Music education in prisons. Okay, this paper is probably making an argument that we should include music education, music therapy in prisons, right? So that's a much more clear and complete title. And if you notice, that is all keywords: music education, prisons, right? Those keywords come from sociology or criminal justice studies, or right, music education is music studies. So that's what I mean by keywords. They come from a discipline. What's a discipline? Discipline of thought, like sociology or religious studies or bioengineering or aviation or nursing, right? Those are key words, key concepts from disciplines of thought. Okay. C, music therapy, art beyond words. See how this one has a hook and keywords. The keywords are music therapy, and the hook, which is the interesting language that pulls you in, is art beyond words. Okay? So the hook again is just it's imaginative, it's interesting. A hook can also just be a question, right? Music therapy. Can we address climate change using indie music? Question mark, right? So the hook can just be a question, okay? It can be that simple. People love a good question. It pulls us in. I could go to Google Scholar, right? We could look at a lot of titles. Same thing, right? Music therapy for the autistic child. Okay, this is a complete title. It's pretty clear what this title, what this paper is about, right? Um, music therapy, not a clear, complete title, right? You're like, well, what's the argument? What's being said? What's being done about this? I don't know. Music is medicine, the history of music therapy, right? This one's more of a book, so that's probably not helpful. Let's take a look at just a few more. Music therapy with children and their families, right? This is all keywords. There's no hook here, but you know what that's about, right? It's using music therapy within a family structure, right? So if you just need some inspiration or to see how titles work, right, check out Google Scholar. I would just put in music therapy. Usually when there's a colon, like in this title where music helps, colon, that usually signals that there's a hook there, right? Where music helps is sort of the hook. Okay, so that's what I'm asking for, number one, and I want you to write your own title using this structure of keywords and hook. And also vote on, which of these titles do you think is effective? We have a short video on qualifiers, not going to go over that again. Counter arguments, I want you to write a short paragraph of a counter argument for your music therapy essay. Think of it this way. A counter argument is where you anticipate where a reader might object or where a reader might say something different or have a different perspective, right? So I always think of it as this way, like, like high school debate clubs where you're sort of, the ethos of the philosophy is, oh, you have to sort of like trounce or crush the opposition or prove that your argument is right and everyone else is wrong. That's not what we're doing here. Your job is, as a writer, is to say, this is my perspective, this is my argument, these are my ideas, but it's not the only way to think about this topic, right? This is refreshing. Readers like this. They want to be presented with ideas and perspectives, not my way or the highway, okay? No one likes to be told how to think or what to do. So same thing, a counter argument will help you just show your reader that, there's other ways to think about this, and here's some perspectives that go against my argument, right? So show us that you can think about complicating evidence or things that might prove you wrong or might just challenge, right, your perspective or argument. So for example, let's say my paper is about using Eminem for hip hop therapy. And my counter argument would be, well, Eminem, right, has a history of homophobic lyrics. Many folks, especially me in the gay community, like are, sort of triggered by him. I don't find him therapeutic. So I don't think he would be really a good choice for a music therapy program where he would trigger many LGBTQ youth, right? I just don't think he's suitable because of, for years he profited off of these controversial homophobic lyrics. And I think he made money off of that. So I don't think he's good at all for music therapy. Does that make sense? Or if I'm proposing, like, okay, I want to use, I'm proposing pop music therapy, right? Pop is very, you know, um, widely listened to, right? Like Taylor Swift or anyone from pop. Well, then my counter argument might be, well, there's a lot of materialism and consumerism in pop, right? In every musical genre. So, that's not great for mental health, right? Consumerism um, is not great for mental health. Studies actually show that um, gratitude and giving stuff away and thinking about others is actually very beneficial to mental health. So, a very materialistic song in my counter argument might not be really good for music therapy. So I'm giving ideas and examples and perspectives that go against my argument. Sorry. Um, so that is your counter argument, right? Write a short counter argument. A counter argument can go anywhere in your paper, right? I just, well, no, it can go, it can really, I've seen them in the conclusion. So it can really go anywhere. Often it comes after the introduction. It can also go in the introduction. I want you to complete your reference list of citations, um, right? I like to use EasyBib or MyBib, right? A citation is not a hyperlink, folks. So if you see, here's a citation, it's an author's last name, a date, a journal title, where it came from. That's a citation, not a link, okay? So let me give an example. And Google Scholar is great, right? If you click on the Cite button, right, under any title, you see it already gives you the citation, okay? So you've got it in APA right here. Author, date, title, where it came from. Great. Let's say you're looking at like a newspaper, let me find a newspaper, or you're doing a website. You're like, okay, how do I cite this, right? Go into add a citation. You have, folks, this is a machine. You have to tell it what kind of source you have. Is it a book? Is it a journal? Is it a video? Or click on more. Is it a song? Right? Is it a ebook? You have to tell it what the source is. And I'm like, okay, this is a website actually. So I'm gonna click on website and let's see if it can just pull it from it being a website. And indeed it did, right? And if you notice down here, we've got the complete citation here and I can save it to my list. So I'm building my reference page. Great. So yeah, I always use MyBib or EasyBib. And again, just do add citation. Click on APA 7 or the latest APA style, right? The highest number, right? We're doing APA for this class. It's the most widely used citation style. And again, Google Scholar lets you cite everything. It gives you the citation. Just click on cite. Or you can often just grab the link and EasyBib or MyBib can construct the citation from that. Lastly, right, you have a reading on APA. I want you to sort of create just an in-text citation. Folks, real easy. APA is really obsessed with the author's last name and date, right? How current is something, right? When did something come out? How new is the knowledge is really important to APA style. So an easy way to start your sentence is, according to Jones, 1998, right? According to the author Jones, right? They published this thing in 1998, and then quote it, and then give the page number, right? Or Jones, 1998, found, quote. Does that make sense? So there's different ways to set up your sentence with the source. I just like according to the last name and then the date, right? Easy structure. So folks, email me if you have any questions. Can't wait to look at all of your papers and give feedback. Thank you.